Rahmat Saab, you won. Yeah. You got the medal, Rahmat Saab.
Yes, sir. We have another question from our guest.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, sir. Fayaz again. And it's been a real pleasure and privilege to have heard you in such a comprehensive discourse on many issues that provokes one's mind so oftenly. I have few questions, brief questions. First of all, on the poor languages. Say if there is a person native and he doesn't have command over the language, and he is also struggling to develop his PhD, her or his PhD thesis. So would you recommend that the ideas or the proposal be written in native language for clarity and then translated? That is question one, sir. Second, should I proceed, sir?
Let me just because I may forget, this. I think I also need a training course to sharpen the memory. As yesterday, Dr. Tahir was saying, I may not forget the first question while you were on the second one. That's possible. I mean, if you feel comfortable in that way, that's absolutely fine. There's no harm in that. But again, I would say that because you are going to do everything in English, for example, so better to focus in that area, and it's also your learning process. And suppose today your English is not good, you are doing exercise and writing again and again. I mean, writing means, as I said earlier, rewriting, and rewriting. So when you will do this practice few times, of course it will make some positive difference, and it would be helpful. And second thing, there are to make a finished product, there are editors everywhere, and also there are some on websites you can find many, although they are not feasible for our developing countries. They're very expensive, but there are sources depending upon our own circumstances. There is a lot of options which we can use at every stage in our research. Yes, second question.
Why did I raise the first question was because I believe several very innovative ideas are lost when we indulge ourselves into writing in a foreign language, although that's the need of the time. So that is why I asked that question.
No, it's good. I mean, there's no harm. If you feel comfortable, that's good. I would say, please go ahead. I mean, there's no harm in that. I mean, it depends. It differs from person to person. That's also right.
Sir, on the copyrights, I wish to understand from you. You have emphasized do not ever sell the copyrights. I understand. I wish to learn from you. Are the copyrights not sold when one actually wishes to, when one submits an article with any of the leading journals? So aren't these automatically sold?
No, it's to journal. It's not sold in that way, because then it's still your property, and a journal is getting permission from you that now they are going to publish your paper. So you have given them permission that you allowed them to publish your property in their journal. So that's actually in that way. But in case of a book publisher, the situation is slightly different, because they are more commercial and business oriented people. So they are always after money, like other institutions. So they may ask you sometime that, okay, I mean, we will buy this copyrights, and then suppose if you sell, suppose your copyrights in $100, or I'm just giving an example. They may earn one thing, as I said, they may earn a lot of money, which you will regret after that you lost. The second, maybe because they are commercial institutions, tomorrow they can sell the same rights to another publisher. So even if they have little amount of additional money coming into them, so they can go for that. So better to keep your property with you, because you deserve for that. You worked hard, and that's yours, not anybody else.
Last question.
Secondly, if you it's just very quick. And once your book is published now, for example, and next year, maybe after a couple of years, now you think, oh, I will change it 20%, 30%, and improve that. Now I have better idea with the new change environment, and I will going to publish another book. Now, because the copyrights are not with you, You are not the owner of your own work, so you can't do that. You can't use 80% or 70% of your own book, because that belongs to somebody else. You have to get their permission. They may ask you money, okay, pay us X amount of money, then we will allow you to use your own work, which was in the past your work. Yeah. Sorry.
Sir, this is the question relates to use of the quotes regarding the length of the quotes to be used in one's writing. If a quote, say, spanning over 25 words, is paraphrased, still permission is required?
I would say that when you are preparing your paper, and this is same with the publisher as well, especially these good reputed publishers, they have put this all information on their website. For example, if you look at this Blackwell Publishers, this is very big, one of the major international publishers. Their website is so much information on every aspect for authors. I mean, that's there. Similar situation can also be found in journals' websites as well, and they also have clearly highlighted these things. And it varies from journal to journal, publisher to publisher. Some may say, okay, you can quote that 35 words. Some may say, okay, no, maybe not more than 15 words. And they will also mention that if it's more than 15, maybe 12 words, then you should do this. If it is more than, suppose if it is less than 15 words, you can narrate in the text. Or if it is more than 25 words, you should have a separate paragraph indent from both sides or one side, whatever their style is. So best thing is to read thoroughly their instructions for authors. They always clear those things, especially these Western publishers and journals.
Yes, I'm Sabah, Dr. Sabah again. I have to ask one question that is it right ethically if someone is submitting a manuscript simultaneously in two different journals, and he has or she has a plea that because sometimes there is a lack of competency, or might be that particular journal would not accept that article, so it would save the time, and simultaneously they are filling the copyright transfer letter too. So I just have to ask it because someone has told me and said that it is right ethically. So I want to ask from you, is it right ethically to save the time, simultaneously submit the article in two different journals?
Maybe 15, 20 years ago, it was not a major problem, but nowadays, I would say no, absolutely, ethically, legally, morally, and there are very clear strict instructions in every journal's website, not only journal, the books as well. They clearly mention that they are accepting this paper for review with the condition and understanding that it's not submitted to any other journal or anywhere else. So this is very clearly, mentioned everywhere with these journals. So this is again, there is a problem as well, because once you submit your paper to one journal and it takes maybe 1 year, to say yes or no, and then if they say no, and then you try second journal or you make improvements and address all those issues, you resubmit it, it may take another year. So in this process, maybe if 2-3 years are passed and data is old, everything, although these are the challenges, problems, but unfortunately, again, having said that, we are not living in an ideal world, so we have to pass through this situation, but we cannot, we shouldn't do that, because if they find out that, okay, oh, you have submitted, because this academic community is very close-knitted. It happens, a few times I heard from other people, they found this, oh, this non-other journal, immediately they will blacklist you, maybe for 4 years, 5 years, and then you will lose that journal. You can't submit any paper, And if they pass on this communication to other journals, maybe that would also not be a good impression, So better to try to avoid that.